Hello. So it's been a while since I've done another video, and it's a beautiful sunny day today, so I thought I'd sit in the garden for 5-10 minutes and bring some South Wales sunshine to your doorstep. This video is particularly dedicated to my good friend Nathan, who gifted me a tomato plant, which is actually a lot bigger than it was when he gifted it to me. Actually, you probably see it better inside. And a yarrow plant. And so here's to you, Nathan. This is how big they've got. Nathan came for some healing work quite recently and brought Mr. Tomato plant and Mr. Yarrow plant to me, and which I have nurtured and will be planting out in the garden very soon. So yeah, so I'm just kind of scanning around some veg beds here. Wanted to use, I suppose, my garden as a bit of inspiration today for the message. As you notice, I've got lots of tents around my little seedlings, and these seedlings need a little bit of protection at the moment from various wildlife, birds in particular, and a few local cats. Just like we need a bit of protection occasionally. I'm not saying we should all build tents and bubbles around us like we're doing at the moment with this whole kind of retrovirus thing that's going around. But sometimes we genuinely do need a bit of protection in the form of boundaries, in the form of not necessarily social distancing, but distancing from toxic situations and toxic people that don't nurture our spirit. Oh look, little bee on a dandelion. Hello little bee, how are you? There we go. Yeah, so this garden was literally just this lawn. And since moving in, I've kind of dug it up and built a pond and growing strawberries over here. Some strawberries coming up already. Look at those little beauties. There we go. And blueberries. I've got a mustard plant there, believe it or not. Some lavender, some chives. I'm kind of mixing it around a little bit. It's not quite your traditional garden. I want it to kind of grow a bit wild. Herbs down here. Got some sage, some mint, some thyme, some lemon balm, oregano, more thyme, fennel, dill, and there's my little fig tree. So yeah, I mean, strange times that we're living in. Very strange times that we're living in. And I guess in situations like this, we need to really start to look at what messages these times are really bringing us. In Buddhist speak, there are two types of teacher. There is the kind, compassionate, welcoming, smiley teacher that makes you feel comfortable. And then there's the wrathful teacher, which is the complete opposite. They are often called noble messengers. I call them trigger agents. The individuals in our lives, the situations in our lives that bring us great challenges, that bring us right out of our comfort zones, that help us in many ways actually come back to being grateful for the preciousness of life. You know, life is precious. That's why I've covered all my little seedlings at the moment, because they're quite precious. Yeah, I don't want them eaten until I'm ready to eat them. And oh look, there's the Buddha there. Hiya. Thought I'd stick in between the laurel and the bamboo just as a little reminder, overlooking the pond. Yeah, so noble messengers, and I guess this coronavirus thing, whatever it really is a noble messenger. It's got a lot of people out of their comfort zones, or actually it's got people into their comfort zones. I mean, this lockdown has actually been quite pleasant, really. I'm not sure if it would have been as pleasant if the weather hadn't been so beautiful, but yeah, it's certainly been an opportunity to withdraw. It's been an opportunity to create a garden. It's been an opportunity to actually, really assess who's been helpful and who hasn't been helpful in your life up to this point, who's caused stress and who hasn't, because now you've been separated from most people for a fair length of time. Just check in on how you feel. Are you feeling really good, or are you feeling, like you want to tear your hair out? And I guess some of the reasons we feel the way we do isn't just because of our own internal attachments and beliefs. It is genuinely because the environment that we are in and surrounded by can cause huge amounts of stress and suffering. Not that there's anything wrong with suffering. There's a lot of this kind of misconception that suffering is bad. Suffering brings us to our light. Suffering brings us to our truth. It kind of brings us out of our shell. It drives us to grow. Yeah, so what's growing here? Let's just take these little onions, for example. And I've got some beetroot seedlings there. So, you can almost liken the soul's growth as a seed that's been planted, right? The soul seed, bay tree there, has been planted. My chives are finally coming up. I'm not sure if you can see that. There we are. Someone laughing in the garden behind me. Yeah, soul seeds are planted in the material realm, into material existence, i.e. the earth. Yeah, all this lovely black stuff, full of mushroom compost and topsoil and various other goodies. And it's pretty dark in the earth, it's pretty dingy. And the seed is encouraged, for want of a better word, to grow through all that darkness. And I guess if you're a little baby seedling and you start to sprout in all this muck, it can be quite a frightening experience. There might be a bit of suffering and effort involved in breaking through. But then once you finally break through, you start to experience some sunshine and some light. It doesn't mean the growth process is over. It just means you get to see beyond the darkness. And many of us, probably a few of you listening to this video, have been through some dark times, have been through some challenging times, and have learnt that our mindset within the process of suffering, the way we think, or what we choose to think, or what we choose to place our attention on during these challenging situations, creates our reality for them, our responses to them, and whether we suffer needlessly or whether we can mitigate and actually not necessarily control the situations around us, but navigate them in a much more healthy and calm and peaceful and compassionate and loving way. So here are some cucumber seedlings. There's my foot. And we've got some lettuce growing there. It's taken a while for them to come through, actually. The weather, although it's been warm, early May, was still quite cold early May, end of April. So they're taking their time. There's no rush, really. I've got crazy stuff going here. I've got a little bird seed feeder thing, and the birds are making a right bloody mess all over my decking, but I don't mind. And they seem to have planted their own seeds in amongst my beans. So all this grass or whatever you see growing here is actually those seeds there, which have just been sprinkled by the birds. So I thought I'd leave it to see what it all turns into. I've got some beans growing there. So yeah, I mean, enjoy the sun. Be cognizant of where you're at, really, now that things seem to start to be easing a little bit. No matter what you believe around this whole episode in humanity, no matter whether you're questioning the rhetoric, questioning the truth of the whole situation, questioning the need for lockdowns, questioning the need for so much fear and perceived levels of security. I mean, whether you're questioning it or if you are questioning, that's a good thing. I mean, it shows that you're thinking about the environments in your life, the projections and the energies around you. You're not just accepting them and then becoming a victim to them. But not we can't control everything, and as much as the ego would like to feel 100% security within its mortality, even these nets can't protect those seedlings from a hungry, ravenous cat or bird if it had enough will to want to get through and under them. So, sometimes we've just got to deal with life as it is, not as we feel it should be. And there's always a gift in life as it is, because by accepting the present moment as it is, without potentially needing to change it, we can derive a sense of contentment and peace and relaxation through life, rather than creating undue anxiety, unnecessary stress. So yeah, short video today. I'll come back in a few days' time, because I'm going to start a series on shadow work. There's a great book called Shadow Dance by David Richo that I've read a few times actually, but we'll be reading excerpts from that, and I'll be kind of going into understanding how aspects of our psyche, our hidden repressed natures, can control us in ways which we're not even aware of most of the time. And the more we begin to start to look at our shadow, a little bit, integrate it, understand it, love it even, the more we can start to grow even more fully into ourselves and understand ourselves more effectively. So yeah, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and see you soon. Bye bye.